Harry Maguire and Andre Onana were the two unlikely heroes as Manchester United beat FC Copenhagen by 1-0 in the first game at Old Trafford since the death of Sir Bobby Charlton. Bless him and bless his soul. With a wreath sat in his VIP seat, certainly the gods of the game and the gods of Old Trafford were watching over United as we did half and puff to get a very important win, our first in the group stages this season against a small team that we have every right to be beating, but boy, haven't we struggled to beat them. So indeed, this is a victory that we will take with open arms and run away with. Welcome to the hotspot. My name is Webb. Subscribe and let's talk about this game as we talk about two players who are trying to change their fate at United with their performances, and again speaks volumes of their attitude as players at the biggest football club in the world. Let's get it. Well, so Manchester United dominates possession 51% to 49 against FC Copenhagen. Well, perhaps that's not exactly dominance, but we are just slightly better in terms of keeping the ball than FC Copenhagen, like we are expected to. In fact, we should have been expected to be much better than that. We both possession had more goal attempts, than FC Copenhagen, whereas they forced our goalkeeper Andre Onana into more saves. He was forced into 4 saves, whereas their goalkeeper I think had 3. So in terms of FC Copenhagen bringing the game to United, it was there. So you want to give a lot of credit to Andre Onana for the saves he made in that game, and most importantly, his most important save for United ever since he joined, that last minute penalty that was almost converted, that was taken by a son of a former Manchester United player, Henrik Larsson, but he missed it. But guys, I think such a performance from Andre Onana will change a lot of things for him in terms of his confidence in between the sticks for Manchester United. You felt he made a couple of saves, like I've said, but the nature in which he saved that penalty, the timing of the penalty, and what he did, he touched the ball. It's not like the ball hit the crossbar or the pole or the woodwork or it just went out. I mean, he touched it, and it's in the last minutes of the game. Shows you how composed he was for that. And that's what you need as a player to boost your confidence. More so if you're Andre Onana, who people have been criticizing and chastising more for the few mistakes you've made, basic mistakes he's made, rightfully so, more than the saves he has made, because Onana has made more saves at United than the mistakes he's made. You can count the mistakes with your hand, but the saves he's made are so many. But the sad bit is that some of the mistakes he has made have cost us games, and that is why United fans will probably remember the mistakes a little more. You do one bad thing and it kills all the good work you've done. You can say the same about Harry Maguire, his partner in crime, who scored that goal in the second half after finding the ball from Christian Eriksen to head home and ensure that also in the back he does keep that clean sheet. Of course, him and his defenders working well with Onana to ensure that we keep the clean sheet. But Harry Maguire, for me, again, is another story of good attitude, mentality. I mean, and this should be an example to players like Jadon Sancho, the younger players there who get criticism from a manager and fail to deal with it. Harry Maguire has shown the world how you're supposed to deal with criticism, how you're supposed to respond from criticism from a manager. Because to be honest, you don't think that Sancho's the statements that Eric Ten Hag made about Sancho were worse than stripping Harry Maguire of the captaincy of Manchester United and publicly going out there and, of course, making it known that, boy, you are no longer a top priority at United. At some point, Harry Maguire was a fifth option of a defender that even midfielders were considered in the back line ahead of him. They would play the defense ahead of him. That shows you how much he wasn't in the plans of Eric Ten Hag. But he put in the hard yards from the off-season, getting Ricardo Carvalho to train him and paying him as a personal trainer to try and fight for his place. And he has been saying this consistently, that he's not going to sit there and be on the bench for the rest of his life at United. He's going to fight and try to come back and win over the heart of the manager. And indeed he has, and look what he's doing. Ten Hag is consistent. Now, this is the second press conference that Eric Ten Hag is praising Harry Maguire for his improvement. The last one, he headed and connected well with Coach Scott McTominay for our winning goal against, I think, Brentford. And now He is playing his first game in the Champions League and putting on nearly a man of the match performance, scoring an important goal and ensuring a clean sheet as United wins the first game in the group stages this season, but also our first win in the Champions League in 6 games. We had been beaten thrice and drawn twice in the last 5. So it shows you that this player, Harry Maguire, has got the attitude to fight for his place and come back into the team and be an important player for United because he was the captain of this team. So for me, those are the positives I'm looking at in this game. And I'm thinking our players are beginning to get their heads right. They're beginning to get back their confidence. And this should be something the whole team capitalizes on. But in terms of the whole team as a unit, there is obviously a lot of work to do for Manchester United. You saw how we struggled in the first half and we were, struggled to get the certain connections right. We are struggling to, compose ourselves and build up for a goal. And until Erik Ten Hag made changes and brought on Christian Eriksen at halftime for Sofian Amrabat, you felt then that the game had changed a bit, and maybe that game should give Erik Ten Hag an idea of what his proper starting 11 should be. Honestly, and well, it's early days to say we are losing faith in Sofian Amrabat, but the reality is he has not given us what we expected. In fact, I was telling someone that it's funny that Amrabat looks more comfortable playing on the left back than he has in the midfield when he has played there. But anyhow, it's early days to make that conclusion. But the reality is he has got to step up his game and pull up his stocks a bit. But I think if players like Andre Onana and Harry Maguire, who have been nearly I think two of our most highly pressured players, are beginning to get such performances. If they get consistency, I think the whole team will draw off their energy and perhaps try to, step up and come back. And I think that can only be a good thing. But again, as Harry Maguire and Andre Onana in the back are trying to recover, Varane is becoming fit, Sergio Reguilon is back in the squad. On the right, Diogo Dalot is fitting in well for Wan Bissaka. Up front, Marcus Rashford and Anthony Dos Santos are still continuing to give us, I think, to take us on a ride. I feel like Marcus Rashford, again, like I said in my previous video, again is proving that I'm right, that he should be benched for some time for him to get his head right. You clearly see that Marcus Rashford's head is not in the right place. You clearly see that he has lost his confidence. You clearly feel like I think he knows. I think he's all over social media reading the comments and attacks that we have on him and all, and I think he has failed to deal with them. I think he has failed to, he has got to sit down and talk to Harry Maguire and ask him how he has done it, because Maguire has taken criticism, right? And you can see him responding with performances on the pitch. Rashford, on the other side, is struggling on the pitch, and I think it gets worse by the day. He has lost confidence. For England, he's decent, but at United, Marcus Rashford, remind me when he had a decent game for United, he will struggle. Even in the Champions League, where he has made 2 assists before, he's been struggling. He has shown you saw him yesterday, last night. He was one of our worst players on the pitch. So for me, as we go into Man City, whereas it's a big game, I think Rashford should be benched. Garnacho can start ahead of him, or Anthony Martial probably, because he can play in that position, perhaps even better. So for me, again, I will insist that Erik Ten Hag has got to pull the trigger and put Marcus Rashford on the bench. So is Anthony Dos Santos. I still don't understand why Anthony is an obvious starter in the team. He will make one good run and go off the byline. The ball goes off the byline. I mean, he just keeps flattering us like he's going to do something magical, but doesn't quite do it. So for me, Erik Ten Hag has got to now make those tough decisions. The way he was confident enough to pull off Amrabat, even when Casemiro is not there, and pull off Amrabat and bring in Christian Eriksen, who actually delivered the goods, I feel he should be doing the same with Marcus Rashford. But quickly, just my player ratings. Out of 10, I'll start from goal. Andre Onana, 8 out of 10. Right back, Diogo Dalot, 6 out of 10. Left back, Sergio Reguilon, 6 out of 10. Central defense, Varane, I'll give him 6 out of 10. Harry Maguire, 7.5 out of 10. Sofian Amrabat, 5 out of 10. Bruno Fernandes, 5.5 out of 10. Rasmus Højlund up front, of course, leading the line. He did not score, but again, he never makes wrong moves. It is just Rashford and Anthony failing to connect with him. I would give him a 6.5 out of 10. Then who else? Marcus Rashford, 4.5 out of 10. Anthony, 5 out of 10. Who else? Scott McTominay, 4 out of 10. I think he was our worst performer on the pitch. Him and Marcus Rashford were the most disappointing players for me at United. And then Christian Eriksen came off the bench to get his man of the match award. It's not about minutes, it's about effectiveness in the minutes you get. So I would give him 7 out of 10. Then Garnacho came off the bench as well, tried to put on some pace and tempo, exciting. Give him a 6 out of 10. That's for me, my player ratings. What is yours? Give me your opinion in the comment section. My name is Webb. Subscribe to the Hotspot. We are here now, guys. Question is, after getting our first win in the UEFA Champions League group stages, are we back now? Is Manchester United back? Well, we should be, but where we are now is quite terrible. We are still third on the pile, of course, only ahead of FC Copenhagen, who have got only a single point. We've got 3, at least our first victory. But Bayern beat Galatasaray away. That is in Turkey. It's not easy to win a game in Turkey, but Bayern made light work of Galatasaray, beating them by 3-1. Galatasaray is second on the log, but I don't think we should be going deep into that mathematics. We should focus on ourselves and win the games we are expected to win. We are not expected to beat Bayern, but we are expected to beat Galatasaray, Copenhagen, home and away. Teams like this should be beaten. But Galatasaray beat us at home. We should be hoping to revenge away in Turkey. Not easy, but let's now shift focus to the UEFA Champions League and hope to capitalize on this performance and again disappoint or surprise Manchester City on Sunday. We'll talk about that game. Subscribe to the Hotspot. I'll catch you later, fam.